Shalom to the elect, giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, Bashem HaKadosh, and giving double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone who well. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shemiyah Mafas Amapa from the great millstone Plaintables camp in Philadelphia, coming with another wee lesson in prophecy. And we have it here, and it's fair use warrant out only, and this footage is for educational purposes only. Trump declares public emergency and puts District of Columbia, or D.C., under federal control, deploys National Guard to streets. So, as you seeing, prophecy is unfolding.
And we're here for a very serious purpose, Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
Yeah, crime, bloodshed, and squalor. You had to look up what the hell is squalor, you know. The state of being extremely dirty and unpleasant, especially as a result of poverty and neglect. And that's everything that a lot of these homeless derelicts, right? They be squalor. So you go on.
Worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States. I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan...
And you have to think, what is the Home Rule Act, you know? These laws go way back, okay? 1973, okay? You have it here, according to the ACLU. Yeah, the District of Columbia Home Rule Act of 1973 granted residents of Washington, D.C. the right to elect their own government, including a mayor and city council. And this aim to allow District of Columbia to handle its own local affairs, relieving Congress of the burden on legislating on essential local matters. Okay? So this is a way they can have, as they saying, these different type of self-governance and local autonomy. Okay. The Home Rule Act was a response to a long-standing push by D.C. residents for greater control over their local affairs to reduce the burden of Congress or the Senate. Okay. So you have it where this decree was set forth. All right, simplest term, home rule is granted by state constitution or state statute and allocates some autonomy to local government. All right, if the local government accepts certain conditions. Okay, home rule implies that each level of government has a separate realm of authority. All right, so you got different checks and so-called balances. But you have it where, and federal powers is coming in, and that force will be something to reckon with. Okay, you got military actually out there and federalized power in that particular area. Okay, so that's another type of force, that really it hasn't been commonly out there, okay, in recent years. Only under certain events, you have it. You know, these forces they come out, but Donald Trump is making a lot of things that are vicious normal, okay, and they're using these different decrees, okay, and a lot of them are unrighteous decrees too. At that, because just if somebody hit hard times, and they in a certain state, and their government should be able to help them. Well, their government is not helping them. The way they're helping them is they're gonna remove them and most likely put them in a work labor camp or some sort, and they're gonna disappear. So this is Isaiah chapter 10:1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree, and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed." Okay, you have it. Grievousness is imal, and imal, if you know anything about that Hebrew word, it goes into to weaken or languish. All right, when you go into it, it has the toil, mischief. Okay, in this case, pain. All right, work severely, and irkness, to take labor in. Okay, and this is mischief, which they prescribe. As it says, they pre-wrote these things way back. Hey, going back. Hey, if this one is 1973, and then now being, in 2025, being actually put into use. It says, verse 2, it says, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, and there's a lot of Israelites that are out there that's gonna be taken, and a lot of these different laws that are enacted and put under the guise of taking America back, but really it's coming with the draconian measures in which they have set forth from time, and them establishing their NWO plot, the New World Order. Okay, this is Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, which are the Edomites. All right, this is modern day Assyria as well. Okay, spiritually, it says, America, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. Okay, so the power that they have is, of course, the Lord's. Okay, and they will be executing judgment right from the Lord, from the power that the Lord entrusted them with. Okay, so there's a sword, as it say, is furbished. Okay, I think that might be in the chapter or I think that's in yeah, that's in Ezekiel. My fault. It's Ezekiel chapter 21, and it says in verse 8, again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, so said the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened. It's like a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. It is sharpened that it may it is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he that hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled, this sword is sharpened and is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer, into the hand of the Edomites. Okay, And via Donald Trump with the weapons that they have, legally, you know, um, you're gonna use for their, trips. All right. A slayer is a harag, which goes into a murderer. All right, and destroy, ruin. Okay, verb. All right. That it be made handled is cop. Cop goes back to palm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yeah, in the Hebrew. So it's been given into their palm. All right. So going on.
The police department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening. They've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
And this is an unprecedented move, and it comes on the heels of their man Big Balls getting beat down in D.C. They never seem to care about anyone else getting stabbed, shot, and killed, Seth Riches, anything else in the past. But all of a sudden now they care. They care about going after druggies, right? Isn't that what a lot of the small-minded people out there are thinking? You think that this is all about druggies? What about the people that have a 9-to-5 that work all week and live out of the vehicle or are homeless? What kind of camp are they going into? Huh? Do you ever stop to think about that and see the bigger picture? Of course. People that are on drugs need help. That's obvious. But that's where it stops with some of you. Your small mind can't seem to see the bigger picture of what they're doing. Just like you can't see with these strike teams going around rounding people up, that the moment they lock people back down again, they're going to be used on purebloods. You better see the bigger picture of what's happening here. The federalization of a city is no joke. Taking over the police force is no joke. Putting the National Guard on the streets against the people to do whatever they need to do, he said, it's no joke. And it happens. Now, D.C. is its own little neck of the woods with its own laws. And it's just like London, just like the Vatican. I've explained this in separate videos. But this sets a precedent. Anyone that wants to show up saying, how can you be against them treating people for drugs? We never said that. Not once. You just made it up. We've never said that. You're just assuming that. Or you're clinging to garbage. Yeah, they need help. But you won't face the bigger question. What happens to all the other people out here that are homeless? How does it affect them? What kind of camp are they going in?
They getting caught up in it, man. So, they really come with complete control, of many of these alleged civil liberties or liberties that you have been able to get away with. The enforcement is here, and that's just straight that. Okay, because Esau know what time it is, man. And the Lord let us know of what time it is. Okay. So, you got to be thankful for prophecy's sake, for having a heads up and not to be ignorant of these things that are were to come and that are now to be and is existing. All right. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, which is that accuser, which is Esau Edom, via Donald Trump and those elite that are behind him in the shadow, that's pulling all the strings, has come down, which are the bankers really, has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, and you're gonna feel that wrath. Okay, let's see what wrath goes into. In the Greek, when you go to wrath, is thymos, right, or thumos, thumos, right, which means the anger, passion, and boiling up, right. It says soon subsiding again, but when it subsides, it just boils back up, right, to grow All right. So wrath, indignation, fierceness. All right. So you're gonna see the fierceness of Esau, Edom. You know, you got people that like, yeah, they do live inside their cars and stuff like that, go to Planet Fitness and wash up and stuff, but you know, those that are out there, hey, they have martial law troops knocked down. We're not accepting that here no more in our places because, you know, we have really that plot, that NWO, okay? Let me see, I'll get that in Corinthians real quick. Maybe 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, least Satan, which is Esau again, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, of his schemes and plots of a evil origin, which we know, all right, the end game to bring this force, okay, while they're smiling and stuff, in the press conferences. You'll be having, as it have right now, 800 National Guard. It starts with 800 National Guard in places where police are, right? And they have federalized control, okay, instead of local. CNN.
President Trump declaring a public safety emergency, saying he's activated 800 National Guard members in the nation's capital and has now placed the D.C. Police Department under federal control, saying that Attorney General Pam Bondi will, quote, take command. This takeover is happening as the president says that crime in the city is out of control, despite officials saying that certain crimes in the city have hit a 30-year low. Watch this.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. If necessary, we're going to move service members directly to joining the Guardsmen, and that'll take place very rapidly.
CNN's Brand Todd is closely following this story.
Down 20%, robberies down 29%. And crime overall is at historic lows in the city, Boris. We also got some pushback from council member Charles Allen of the D.C. City Council, saying this is doing this under the guise of public safety is, quote, wrong. It's an extreme, outrageous, and dangerous move for the city. That is the first member of the D.C. City Council to put.
As they say, it says official officers will be authorized to do whatever the hell they want. Hey. They coming with the wrath, so we'll see what entails from that. Don't be surprised. This is coming to a city near you. All right, federal power of wrath through the Edomites, the wicked. Shalom to the elect.